Welcome to the Now. I'm Ashley Jenkins.
And I'm Bruce Greene.
The first trailer, oh my god, everyone is so excited. The first trailer for The Last Jedi is finally here. And after going over it with a fine-tooth comb over and over and over and still framing it and everything, we now know a lot more. Well, look, I need my fix. We now know a lot more about the next Star Wars movie, like Rey getting some Jedi training courtesy of Luke Skywalker, because no one saw that one coming. Yeah. The First Order possibly moving to seize control of the galaxy, along with a bunch of quick glimpses of major characters and what they've been up to, like Finn and Poe. Oh, and Kylo Ren still looks very brooding.
Yeah, it definitely feels like the series is headed for a darker turn, which I think most expected. Possibly along the lines of course, Empire Strikes Back.
The one that everyone refers to as the benchmark of the dark one.
Right, with the good guys in trouble and trying to ward off the First Order after its devastating attack on the Republic. Amid all the space battles, it looks like the theme of balance between the light and dark side of the Force will play a major role in the new movie.
Oh, yeah, and then at the end of the trailer, Luke does say that it's time for the Jedi to end. No big deal, just no more Jedi, ever.
I have a theory about this that they've alluded to many other times in Star Wars.
Yes, similarly. So we're gonna break into a whole bunch of this, and we're gonna jump forward and backwards. So please just stick with us.
So let's go over what we see and break down the shots and see what hints it might tell us about the movie. Not really spoiler stuff, since it is mostly guesswork at this point, all speculation. But consider yourself warned if you want to go in knowing absolutely nothing about the movie.
Also, good luck with that, since everyone is gonna work very, very hard to figure out as much as possible in the lead up, because that's what happens with Star Wars.
You could just do what I do, which is avoid basically everything except the trailers. I only watch the trailers.
Fair enough.
And I don't want to watch them too much like you did.
Yeah, we watched it a lot.
The trailer was unveiled today at Star Wars Celebration, the yearly convention of Star Wars fans in Florida. It's basically ground zero for all things Star Wars. It's really fun too. We've already seen a retrospective on 40 years of the franchise, a moving tribute to Carrie Fisher, and tomorrow we're going to get a more in-depth look into Star Wars Battlefront 2.
But today was all about Last Jedi. Now, before we got to see the trailer, there was a panel with a lot of the main people behind the new movie, including director Rian Johnson, Lucasfilm head Kathleen Kennedy, as well as some of the cast, including Mark Hamill, Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, and newcomer Kelly Marie Tran.
The panel was highly scripted, probably so they wouldn't accidentally give anything away.
Although Mark Hamill was a little bit cheeky with his little references.
He was like, and over here is my, he was referring to Daisy Ridley, and he said, over here is my my co-star, Daisy Ridley.
What?
He's about to say daughter. And everyone talked a lot about how much fun it was to shoot the movie, what a great director Rian Johnson is, and how awesome the fans were, but nobody got too into details about what the movie is actually about.
Yeah, probably the closest we came, aside from Mark's cheeky joke, was from Daisy Ridley, who of course plays Rey. She said that in the new movie, we'll go deeper into Rey's story and her interactions with Luke Skywalker, and Ridley alluded to the fact that her meeting with Luke might not exactly live up to her expectations. She said, as we all know, it's difficult when you meet your heroes because it might not be what you expect.
Of course, yeah.
I think the short version of that is never meet your heroes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you'll be disappointed.
As for the overall plot of the movie, we don't exactly know yet, which is good. But Johnson said that the First Order suffered a big loss with the Star Killer base being blown up, but he added that they did manage to take out the seat of the Republic.
Which is also bad.
The Hosnian system. The Hosnian system was their main system. They took that out. The director seemed to indicate that the First Order will try to jump into the power vacuum that they created.
Then we got introduced to actress Kelly Marie Tran, who will be playing a character named Rose in the new movie. Now, she's not in the teaser trailer at all, so it's still very up in the air, but Mark Hamill rambled a bunch about being afraid to play Luke Skywalker. Again, like a little intimidated about it because the expectations are so high, but also very excited about it. And everyone started talking about how amazing the new director, writer Rian Johnson is. After all that, we finally got to see the damn trailer.
All right, so here it is. It opens with Rey on the ground, gasping for air, seemingly like she just came out of that the Cave of Darkness, sort of like the one that Luke was in. Her sudden appearance is a very similar opening note to the first shot of the Force Awakens trailer, when Finn quickly pops into frame in the Jakku Desert.
Yeah, she's pretty out of breath. There's that dark cave behind her. Yeah, it's that whole, very reminiscent of the dark side cave on Dagobah, where Luke saw the troubling vision of himself inside Darth Vader's mask. It seems like maybe there's a chance there that Rey could undergo some sort of similar visions here, which wouldn't be all that surprising considering this movie already looks to be borrowing a lot of major cues from Empire Strikes Back, and because we've seen Rey get these powerful Force visions before already. Yeah,
that's actually a thing also that happens in the Star Wars universe. Apparently, Jedi sort of have to face their fears along the way when they're training, so we assume that Rey will have to do the same. Following that, we finally hear Luke Skywalker utter his first words in decades.
We've been waiting so long.
As he's walking Rey through her Jedi training, cue shots of her working with her new lightsaber as Luke watches, and then some some dialogue between Luke and Rey about light, darkness, and balance.
Yeah, interesting tidbit for all you Rey Kenobi truthers out there. Under the light shot we see of Leia, you can actually hear Leia's "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi" line. Under the dark shot of Kylo Ren's helmet, there's an Obi-Wan line about the dark side. So interesting, they've got 2 Obi-Wan references in there back-to-back under Rey dialogue. Just saying.
All right, so you're one of those, huh? I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that one.
It's possible.
We'll see.
I'm just saying, Ewan might have got busy at some point.
That's true, he did. There's also some mysterious garbling happening under the balance audio, but that's harder to make out. There's some speculation that it's a Yoda line, hence the garbling, and it's his Return of the Jedi line telling Luke he will be the last. Anyway, to all that, Luke says...
Hence the movie title.
Oh. Anyway, to all that, Luke says it's so much bigger.
The idea of balance that they're discussing in the teaser is interesting because it wasn't really present all that much in the original trilogy. It's mostly an idea that's come from the prequels.
Yes.
When they came back up in The Force Awakens, this dialogue is accompanied by shots of ancient scrolls along with a particular symbol when Rey says the word balance. And a lot of this has a very ancient prophecy feel, which it makes us wonder if this trilogy is bringing back the idea of a prophetic figure that brings balance to the Force, only it's actually Rey. It's not Anakin. It's not Luke. They were mistakes. They didn't live up to it, but maybe Rey this time.
Well, yeah, I mean,
third time's a charm.
A lot of people have said that Luke is the one that's going to bring balance to the Force, not Darth Vader, because Darth Vader was on the, moved to the dark side. So maybe it could be Rey. That'd be pretty crazy if it was Rey. Nobody would have expected that.
Well, there's some interesting speculation too, because Luke ended up on the light side, so he wasn't balanced in between them. But Rey might straddle the dark and the light.
That's an excellent point. The poster they revealed for The Last Jedi today seems to tie in with that idea. Visually speaking, it's arranged so that Rey is in the middle of both Luke and Kylo Ren, with the shining light of her lightsaber forming the same balance symbol shown in the trailer.
Yeah, and that symbol is actually shown on some ancient texts, which may be the Journal of the Wills. It's a Jedi tome made canon by the Force Awakens novelization. The gloved hand over the symbol we think that might actually belong to Maz Kanata based on the look of the glove.
I didn't think about
so
that.
she might be making a return.
Okay, then we get an awesome mashup of action scenes featuring land vehicles kicking up red sand while heading toward a group of walkers. Finn in some sort of stasis chamber, looks like he may be healing. Maybe recovering from his injuries from The Force Awakens. And Poe running towards his X-Wing just as it's being blown up.
Too late, buddy.
One interesting thing about that explosion is that it seems to be coming from within the hangar itself. Sabotage, maybe?
Right, like maybe someone set us up the bomb?
Yeah, the hangar doors are closed, so it's unlikely from a shot fired from outside.
Right, now it looks like there is a huge space fleet in orbit as well over somewhere.
Yeah.
A bunch of the Resistance ships are facing off against TIE fighters. Yeah. This might be a spacefight counterpart to the forces we see on the ground that look like they're certainly on the offense. There's that shot there of Captain Phasma, who will hopefully have more to do than get shoved down a trash chute this time. It certainly looks like she's been busy based on all the wreckage around her.
We know from some very brief comments about Episode 8 that what's left of the New Republic doesn't quite see eye to eye on the First Order, and that's going to be the cause of some tension. Based on some screenshots and other clues, there definitely sounds like a political component to this movie, so it's possible that political disputes go badly for the Resistance's chances against the First Order.
And then we get the obligatory shot of the Millennium Falcon being pursued by 2 TIE fighters. There's a bunch of actual, the space dog fighting we see, which is the Resistance ships and the TIE fighters. Rey running with her lightsaber in hand, and Kylo Ren gesturing with his evil red lightsaber, and you can see the reflection of the red lightsaber in his eyes.
It's cool.
Yeah, and then based on the backgrounds of those shots, it looks like they might be having a showdown on the same planet that we see the clash against the First Order walkers.
Got it. Okay.
I mean, unless they have multiple desert planets in one movie. They tend to mix it up. They're like, our desert planet, our ice planet, our forest planet.
They do. It's true.
They keep them distinct.
Based on Empire Strikes Back and this movie possibly following that template, Rey might interrupt her training because she knows that her friends are in trouble. In Empire, it's because Luke's friends were betrayed by somebody. So who knows? That could be the case here with somebody in the Resistance pulling a double cross.
Either way, Rey's probably gonna ditch her training to save her friends, but hopefully this time the Master, in this case Luke, decides to go with her. And then she'll probably suffer some kind of big defeat at the hands of Snoke or Ren, but if we may make a request, please no hand shopping this time, Disney.
Why not?
We don't need to revisit every single beat. We're already going an awful lot along the original lines. Oh, there we go. She gets a sweet gun leg.
Maybe the most interesting scene is a brief shot of Luke falling to his knees alongside R2-D2 in front of a distant burning building that looks like it could be a flashback to Luke's Jedi Academy being destroyed by Kylo Ren, which we kind of saw in Force Awakens. Has a lot
it's
of
been alluded to for a bunch.
Yeah, it's got a lot of those visual similarities to the brief shots we saw in The Force Awakens when Luke put his hand on R2-D2 and did the whole deal.
Yeah, so, or maybe, possibly, even further back, it's an allusion or something to Luke standing by the smoking remains of his aunt and uncle's home in A New Hope.
Oh.
There are some parallels there, like, you know, history repeating itself to some degree. At any rate, the trailer could mean that we finally see how everything played out between Kylo Ren and Luke, you know, back in the day.
Yeah, the trailer ends fairly ominously with Luke saying, "I only know one truth. It's time for the Jedi to end."
Now, as for the status of the movie, I think on that one, I get the feeling that's earlier on. And she shows up and he's like, "What are you punk kid doing here?" And she's like, "Training me." And he's like, "No, no more." I like to think it's like earlier on in the movie than the end.
I have a way more in-depth theory that I don't want to go into.
Okay,
but it's basically about remember, you ever watched the Clone Wars on Cartoon Network?
I watched a little bit.
There are 3 episodes where basically you find out that there's a light, a dark side, and a middle. And I think that Luke's going to get into basically saying this religion should go away. We just need to use the Force. And it's basically like, it's what you choose to do with it, not necessarily a light and a dark side.
Oh, okay.
But it's much more extended. I don't want to talk about it because it's super nerdy and boring.
As for the status of the movie, which releases on December 15th, Jenzen said it's in post-production right now, still in the editing process.
Cool.
So there we go. That's what the teaser showed us.
Yeah, we learned a lot so far from the Last Jedi trailer. What did you guys think of it? Any super theories? Let us know in the comments.
How bright is Bruce? All the way right?
I don't know about that one.
Maybe, it could be. For all your Star Wars news, including everything that we learned about Battlefront 2 this weekend, and all of the Star Wars stuff yet to come, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the know. Trust me, we will make sure you see it.
Yeah, you guys are going to be doing a lot
We're going to be like,
of stuff.
Did you see the still shot? Let's extrapolate everything because we can't help ourselves.
I can't talk to you anymore for the next 9 months or
I'm
whatever it is.
sorry.
You're going to spoil it all.
I'm going to do my best. But it's like, I like the guesswork. The guesswork is fun.
It is fun. I mean, like, not for me, because I just want to watch.